my friend Jordan, and today we are going to make sauerkraut. Usually on Friday nights, there's nothing better that my husband and I like to do is I get dressed up in my dirndl and we play our German music and I get back to my roots. So I figured it's a perfect day to make sauerkraut on a Friday night.
It does seem like a perfect day, but I have really bad news for you, Kelly.
What?
Sauerkraut is actually not German. It comes from a German word, but it is a Chinese invention. It's not German.
Ah, scheiße.
Sorry to break it to you.
I can't believe that. Well, you know what though? My grandma would make sauerkraut all the time at home. And she'd have a big crock down in the basement. And really, all those people that have been eating sauerkraut for thousands of years have been doing something that they should be doing anyway, is because really fermented foods are so great for gut health. So we're just gonna get started because you may not go home and make sauerkraut, but quite honestly, it's kind of fun to see what the process is like.
So not as hard as you think either.
Yes.
We're going to show you how easy it actually is.
I really didn't want to make it, and then I saw how easy it was. Jordan had showed me, so that's what we're going to do now. So I'm just going to shred some carrots, or some cabbage. I've got some green and some purple cabbage that we're going to shred. And then you can describe what we're going to do.
Yep, so the best thing to do is, the easiest way to do it, when you shred your cabbage, you take a wide mouth mason jar, and you can get these lids on Amazon that have, it's just to let the air breathe, or for gas exchange. So you can get these on Amazon. This is all you need. And you need cabbage and salt. That's literally the only two things you need. It ferments in its own juice, and so we're going to show you how to extract the juice. So here we have the shredded cabbage, and all you're going to do is you're probably going to need maybe a tablespoon total of salt. And so you just put a little bit of salt on there, and then you just start, what word would you use to describe this?
I like to call that massaging.
You that's right, yes.
I massage my cabbage.
Yep.
So the reason that we're talking about fermented foods today is because fermented foods are so important for your gut health. I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard that your gut is your second brain, but really sometimes a lot of people will say that your gut is your first brain, and we need to make sure that we have really healthy bacteria in our gut. And you can think of that healthy bacteria as little goldfish or fish swimming around in your stomach, in your gut. And that's that healthy bacteria that we need. And we still need to keep supplying it over and over. It dies, and we need to make sure that we keep supplying it. So by eating foods like sauerkraut, fermented foods, we can continually have all of those healthy bacteria in our gut. So we have, let's think of some other fermented food. There's tempeh, there is kimchi.
Tempeh is fermented soy.
Yep.
Or tofu. Fermented
sauerkraut, and what else? Let's see, miso.
Miso.
And really...
Miso, you can fact check me on this, but I believe that miso, just your standard miso, is aged and fermented for 7 years.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Miso's really good, and you can do a lot with miso.
Maybe that's why it's so expensive at the store.
Probably.
So,
yeah.
So,
yogurt.
Yes.
Kefir.
There you
kombucha,
go.
Sourdough.
You want to try to have at least 2 or 3 of these a day. We've started getting in the habit of having sauerkraut daily and kimchi. So if I'm making eggs for breakfast, we'll have kimchi on the side. Or if we're having sauerkraut or sandwiches or salad for lunch, we just add a little bit of sauerkraut. You probably do the same, don't you?
One of my favorite ways to eat sauerkraut is on avocado toast. So I toast my bread, my sourdough bread, and then you put your avocado, maybe some nuts and seeds, and then topped with sauerkraut and hot sauce. Delicious.
Hey there, Hudson. You have to wait and see our special guest at the end here. So how about we just, so we're massaging. How long will we massage this for?
Well, it depends on how strong your arm is and how cold it is. So this was in the fridge, and so it's cold, which just means that it slows my hand down. But it takes a couple minutes, and really what we're doing is we're helping, because you can put the salt in there and mix it up and then leave it for 10 or 15 minutes and come back, and the salt pulls the water out of the cabbage, and so it'll do it on its own. But when you massage it like this, it just kind of helps it out. And so you can kind of see that it's getting wet. And so we didn't add any juice in here, and so all we're doing is pulling the water out from the sauerkraut, and eventually it'll pool. And so the goal is to get enough juice out of enough water out of the cabbage that when we put it in here, you submerge it in its own fluid, essentially. And so we can probably do this for a little bit longer, and then we can make it work. But we just use salt in this, but there's so many different flavors that you can put in here. You can put a couple peppercorns, you can put dill, you can put garlic, I've seen people put apple slices and orange slices in, and so you can get really creative with sauerkraut flavors. So I think this is good enough, and so now all we're gonna do is we're gonna start putting it in the mason jar. And I guess you don't have to use wide mouth, it's just easier to transport the goods in here. And so again, the longer you can massage, the better, but it'll continue to pull juice and pull water out from the cabbage.
Okay, so then after we get this in, what we're going to do is we're going to smash it down as much as possible because we want to have the liquid only showing at the top. We don't want any leaves touching the sides or being able to, like, on the glass.
You can see that it's on my hands and it's on the side of the glass, so you just want to push it down. You don't want air to touch the cabbage. And so what you want to do is make sure that it's submerged. And this is looking really good, so I'm going to show you up close in a second how much water has already come out of the cabbage.
Okay, so how many days will we have to wait till it ferments?
It really depends on your temperature. So obviously the warmer your house is, the faster it's going to ferment. If you want it to go faster, you can go get Christmas lights, plug them in, and then just put this right in the middle of the Christmas lights, and that'll be at a certain degree, and it'll just ferment faster. It's probably 68 in here.
Probably.
So this might take 2 weeks.
Wow.
In here. But anyways, you can see how much juice is in there.
Starting to come on top.
Yeah.
So then we're going to put the lid on, and it has a little bit of water. This just makes the job easier. You don't have to have this, but it does make the job easier.
Yes.
We're going to put this on, and this is just going to kind of control the moisture in it.
Yep.
And then every couple days, you're just going to have to, like, push it back down. Like, in Germany, I remember they would have these big crocks, and they would move them in the bottom with these pedals to kind of keep it.
Yeah, so I leave it for 2 days, and then take the lid, every 2 days, take the lid off and punch it down. And so that prevents mold from growing on top, just kind of mixing it up and making sure that the air is far away from the actual cabbage. So,
and you know, you may realize this is far too much work for you, but quite honestly, I have fun doing this. And if you get anything out of this, I wanted you to make sure that you're eating fermented foods every day for good gut health. Jordan, do you want to borrow one of my dirndls? I have an extra one. We could have our little German party tonight.
Is it my size?
Possibly, you know. I mean, I have, there's somebody else that's going to join our party also. You know, he's on his way. This is every Friday night here.
What are you drinking?
Every Friday.
I'm having my Pilsner.
Where's my Pilsner? Mine's beer, bitte.
Yeah, you have to come in. Here you go. Wave to everybody. Bye-bye. What do we say? Prost.
Prost.
Have a good weekend.